I was sitting in the tavern, speaking with someone. I don't remember who it was. I was sitting in the tavern. Colrin was outside smoking, as far as I knew. And somebody comes up to me, and they say, "Your kinsman has been struck down." And I jump up from where I'm sitting. I'm like, "Are you... what?" You know, and like, stalk out of the tavern immediately. Push the door open, like, exit immediately, like, look around for, like, where he is. And I can see somebody is bringing him towards me right now. Crowley. The very, very dubious individual who is, you know, been in charge of the town for a little while, is bringing Colrin towards me, like, holding him, and he's unconscious. He's bringing him towards me, and I walk towards him, and Crowley hands me Colrin's body. I'm holding him up, and he goes, "Never let him in town again." I'm like, "Excuse me?" You know? And he goes like, "He attacked one of my guys." I went, "I'm sure he had a good reason." What the fuck happened? You know? And like, meanwhile, we're getting Colrin healed, so he's like back on his feet. And Colrin turns to me and goes like, Darkwood attacked me, shaman. Like, he attacked me. Like, one of Crowley's goons had like struck him, and he'd struck back. The story that he told me was basically that like Darkwood they'd been in an argument about like borders within the woods, and they'd been yelling at each other, and Darkwood struck him in the chest with a spear, and his immediate response wasn't like to fight or back up, it was to just straight execute this motherfucker. You know, like, struck him in the chest with a spear, and then Colrin's immediate response was body execute, like burn 2 skills into this guy. Like, if he blocks the first one, the second one goes through. Like, you're on the ground, you're bleeding out. It's a skill that puts you immediately down. And that turned into a fight, and then Crowley had put him down and so forth. And Colrin told me the story all very quickly, and then got back to yelling at people, you know, as he does. And I let him do so because I was like fucking furious, you know. I'm looking at Crowley and I'm like, "We have to deal with this," you know. And he's looking at me, he's like, "Yeah, come talk," you know. And we stepped aside to the side of the road. Went nearby. And we're talking, and we're like, "So what are we gonna do?" And by the way, these are all players. This isn't NPCs or anything. This is all players. These are players who are playing the game, all in a conflict. It's a PvP conflict, you know? And so what are we going to do about this? I'm like, they had an argument. It's over now. You know, like, it's done. They fought. Both of them are alive. It's done. You know? People fight. He's like, "Yeah, but he struck one of my guys. You got to pay for that." And I went, "I'll deal with it. You know? I'll deal with it myself." And then I turned and, like, started to leave. Right? Like, I'll deal with it myself. I mean, like, your laws don't mean shit to me. Like, I will punish him. You know, is what I meant by it. Like, I will fucking bitch slap him into submission for being an insubordinate fuck. You know? Is what I meant by it. And then he over my shoulder while I'm fucking walking away goes, "No, you won't." And I turn. And I go, "Yes, I will." And I start walking away again, and suddenly I feel a sword on my back as he strikes me. 11 magic, 11 magic, 11 magic, putting me down onto the ground. I fucking forgot all my defenses. PvP gives me the fucking shakes, like, straight away, like, out of game. Like, I felt my adrenaline, like, kick so hard as it happened, but I froze, you know, and boom, 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 blop, down onto the ground. And, like, everybody who's watching goes, "What the fuck, Crowley?" You know, like, "What the shit? How the fuck dare you?" know, like, people are, like, getting in the way and, like, you know, like getting in between him and me, you know, and like, somebody's already, like, picking me up. Colrin's picking me up and, like, walking me away, and, like, somebody comes over, feeds me a potion. I'm like, swallow it and look over my shoulder, you know, fucking glare over my shoulder at him as we, like, limp towards the edge of the woods. The Furbolg had been involved in this fight, too. Involved in this fight, too. Where, basically, basically, like, when Colrin got in a fight with Darkwood, The Furbolg had like bust through the fucking lines. Like Hippie Kicker, my roommate, was playing one of these Furbolg and like fucking fought people on behalf of Colorin. Because we'd been friends the whole game, and like they jumped to his defense, you know. So like the Furbolg and the Vespin were both like sort of fought and picked up, and then we walked away, you know. Because I knew turning right then and there to fight would have been a loss. Like if I had turned and tried to defend myself, you know, about the attack that I had just received, like fucking yell at him or whatever, like I would turn the people who were on my side in the crowd against me, like immediately if I decided to do something. So instead I walked away. We walked into the woods. We spoke briefly about, you know, how this was not going to stand and how we'll deal with it in the coming months, you know? And we left game. We counted a 60 count. We walked out of the game, out of the woods, disappeared into the woods deep enough that nobody could follow us. And we left game. This is a thing that has been coming. This is a thing that has been coming. Like, PvP is sort of a thing that just happens occasionally, and it's not a big deal. But, like, this is a fight that, like, I knew probably would happen at some point. I really didn't want it to, because I hate PvP. But, like, basically, I'm gonna be, like, war party leader next game. Like, I'm going to go to the council and I'm going to say, I was attacked by your man. What are you planning to do about it? And if nothing, then prepare for some blood. And I may not be able to get Crowley's blood. I may not be able to get Crowley's men's blood. But you know what I can do? Kill every motherfucker who lays a foot outside any building in this town. You know, like, it's a thing that I can do. Like, we have the people, we have the expertise, we have the fucking damage. Like, if you want to fight us all, I'm pretty sure I mean, eventually we'll probably lose, but we'll fucking kill so many people if we have to. You know? Like, you keep Crowley away from me. You make sure to keep him away from me. You make sure this is over, and I will forget his fucking insubordination. His fucking... Oh, I'm so looking forward to making this speech. And I think it'll go over pretty well. Like, I'm pretty sure the council will be like, whoa, we don't want to fight all of you. Like, that's the thing that we know is going to be bloody for everybody. Let's come up with a solution. And that's what I hope happens. I don't want to have to, like, be, like, PvPing a bunch of motherfuckers, you know? But it ends my relationship with Crowley. Like, anything that he could do is done. Like, I'm never going to trust that person ever again. And likewise, he's probably never going to trust me. But I'm looking forward to making a threatening speech. It'll be pretty cool. It'll be fun. I'm, you know, we'll see if we can peacefully resolve it, but, like, we have... Okay, let me explain. Let me explain what we have resource-wise on our side. So we have me, I'm a 9th circle caster with 2 spheres. We have 2 more of, like, equivalent level casters to me on the Furbolg side. So we have, like, 3 dual sphere 9th level casters, basically. We have a healer who's equally as strong. We have, like, a ton of assassins. A bunch of fighters. Lots of people with the ability to put people down in one shot, like 22 magic body kind of shit, or body execute, like just drop you immediately kind of shit. We have a paladin. We have a paladin who can put up a banner that will make all of our weapons magic. And +1. We have a paladin that can smite undead down in one shot. I like our chances against, like, the other current PCs that are around. If we had to fight everyone in town, I'm not even entirely sure that we would lose. Because we take them segmented, you know? Like, we're not going to attack them. We're not going to wait for them to form a massive battle line and then fight them head on. We're going to take them segmented, one at a fucking time, at 3 a.m. I'm not even sure that we would lose. But I also don't want to, like, shake the game up with that much PvP. Like, I'm not interested in that. That's not something that I want to do. I would rather they leave me the fuck alone and realize they made a horrible mistake. And watching them swallow that fear? Watching them swallow that fear and, like, realize that they made that mistake would be more satisfying to me than anything. Than anything. Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a thing. In relative terms, how big is this PC feud compared to the overall flow of the LARP? Would everyone in the LARP know about it? Yes, everyone would know. There are probably like 100 people at the LARP in general, like, and our side is probably like 20. So it's one of those things where everyone would know what was happening. Everyone would know what was going down. Everyone would know the dangers that they were in. Or maybe not that they were in, but that other people were in. It's a thing. It's a thing. Fighting and winning might be the worst. Yeah, exactly. Like what do I do after that? Even if it happened. Like, if I fought and won, what do I do after that? I don't want to be in charge of the town. But yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. How do the creators feel about a big player-driven event like this? Yeah, no, it's fine. It's part of the game. Like, PvP is entirely a part of the game. It is entirely a part of the game. It's a thing. It's a thing that happens. It's a thing that do. And they would never try and stop PvP. They may have a side that they favor, but they would never try and stop the PvP from happening for, like, out-of-game reasons. One side will eventually lose, and that side will, you know, give up. Is that 100 PC characters? Does it count people handling NPCs? Yeah, it's mostly PCs. Could use the rest of the town as sacrifice to your level 10 ritual. Whew. If you win, sit on your throne and wear the crown upon your troubled brow. It's all good. Yeah, and the thing is, none of it's real, right? Like, me and the person who struck me down from behind are still friends out of game. It's in-game, you know? These feelings are feelings that sometimes are difficult to separate, but, like, to keep it all separate is a thing you need to do. You know what I mean? Like, you can't make that your out of game feelings too. Like me and Desmond, the person who plays Crowley, are friends. Like, we're friends, it's all good. Like, I have no problems with Desmond. Like, Desmond is a fine person. But Crowley and Aeryn, oh, they have problems. You know? They have problems.